6:48, following several breaking stories on our Smart Start for Tuesday, beginning with what was a large investigation this morning in northeast Rochester, where police opened fire during a traffic stop.
Yeah, though the scene has now cleared, the investigation certainly still continues in the neighborhood along Joseph Avenue and Baden Street. Ron Spitzer live with the latest from investigators. Ron.
Yeah, guys, so we're now on Vienna, where that car that we initially mentioned turned around. So this happened during a routine traffic stop just before 3 a.m. An officer was conducting that routine traffic stop when the suspect got away. They sped away, made it to this street right here, that dead end, turned around and then sped toward the officer, which is when they felt threatened and fired their weapon. And now that vehicle has been located, though the suspect has not. Captain Gregory Bello from RPD says that it is reasonable, being that this has happened over the last 24 hours where a suspect did drive toward an officer, that this is a reasonable response. Here's what he had to say.
Unfortunately, that's becoming more and more of a reality, and that's something our officers are facing. And thankfully, none of our officers have been injured as of late as part of that. But obviously, that's a scary situation when a car drives at you.
Yeah, he specifically cited what happened 24 hours ago in Nellis Park, where that vehicle did drive toward an officer. Guys, this is still very, very much under investigation, and authorities ask that if you have any information, you call 911. Reporting from Rochester, Ron Spitzer, News 8.
Thank you, Ron. Turning to the other breaking stories, at least 2 persons of interest in custody this morning for a carjacking in Rochester. That was last night on Post Avenue, right around 10 p.m., where 3 teens were found unharmed after reporting their car stolen at gunpoint. RPD was able to find that stolen car during a traffic stop, and we are told charges are pending.
In further breaking news, 2 men recovering after being stabbed last night. This is the scene on Driving Park Avenue last night, where officers were called there just before 9 over reports of a fight. When they got there, police say they found 2 victims, a 20-year-old man and a 22-year-old man, both with stab wounds. Victims are transported to the hospital, and they are both expected to survive. Investigators say they're still working to learn more about what led up to this stabbing. So as those latest developments continue to filter into our newsroom about these breaking stories and all your top headlines, stay with us on RochesterFirst.com.
Another case we're following: a 14-year-old boy last night stabbed by another 14-year-old during a fight on Reynolds Street. That victim there is expected to survive. This happened around 7 o'clock or so. He did go to the hospital to get treatment. The suspect is in custody. All of this violence, the last 12 hours we've been covering, follows the shooting from the weekend that has made national headlines because of its setting, the scale, and just how senseless it was Sunday. When bullets sailed through a crowd at Maplewood Park, hundreds of people were there enjoying a barbecue in the sun.
Those bullets sadly hit 7 people, killing 2 women. And this morning, we hear from one of those victims, her family, who shares the moment they learned about the loss. We're talking about 33-year-old Felicia Council. We're showing you here on her screen now. She passed away, and her first cousin, Carly Chung Stowe, remembers her cousin as a hardworking healthcare worker who was full of life. And she says the whole family is devastated by Felicia's loss. Now, Carly says that she got the news that her cousin had been killed from her uncle. She tells News 8 she went to the hospital to check on her, but sadly, Felicia died hours later. Carly and Felicia's fathers are brothers. They weren't quite close until they got to know each other better as adults. And Carly says she will remember her cousin Felicia as one who was a hard worker, loved traveling. She was full of life, and she was great with kids.
She loved children. She was always with her nephew. That's one thing that I saw a lot. Anytime I was here out and about, it'd be at Dave & Buster's or other places with children, and she would always have her nephew, so I know she was like a great auntie. So I'm pretty sure she was looking forward to having her own kids one day.
That was Carly we just heard from, and she says after this shooting, she and the entire family plead for togetherness.
The other woman who lost her life in that shooting was just 25-year-old Taisha Manning. She worked at our center as a city employee. RPD and the Major Crimes Unit still making a public plea for information and all this video we've seen on social media as they're trying to track down the suspects wanted for that shooting. We have learned a 17-year-old has died following another shooting in the city. This one happened Friday. Jaden Scott was found on Nassau Street, rushed to the hospital where he was in critical condition for days and did pass away yesterday from his injuries. RPD says this is now a homicide investigation. If you have leads on this murder case, you're asked to please call 911.
A 5-year-old boy rescued from a fire in a multi-family home on Portland Avenue yesterday morning. He's still in critical condition in the hospital. The 3-alarm fire started around 2 a.m. and is now being investigated by both major crimes and the arson task force. Further details currently limited, but 2 firefighters, we were told, were also hurt. A spokesperson tells News 8 one of them was burned, the other listed with a skeletal injury. Mayor Evans reflects on the seriousness of this investigation.
Obviously, you can read between the lines. The fact that Major Crimes is investigating this and the fact that we have the Arson Task Force on this tells you that when something doesn't smell right, we have to make sure that we leave no stone unturned to get justice for a 5-year-old child.
The official cause of that fire not yet determined. As we mentioned, it's all under investigation.
Happening today, there's a court hearing for one of the suspects arrested for a recent deadly stabbing of a father-to-be.
42-year-old Sarah Lee McFadden, she's the one to appear in court, and she's said to be in a relationship with 42-year-old Herbert Montgomery. Now, Montgomery is is the suspect accused of stabbing the victim, 38-year-old Christopher Austin, on North Street Friday night. Investigators say Austin went to the store. He was then confronted and stabbed by Montgomery, and Austin died at the scene while his partner was in the hospital giving birth. Lee McFadden, for her part in these alleged crimes, pled not guilty to felony charges of tampering with physical evidence and hindering prosecution.
The suspect charged in a deadly shooting in June on Michigan Street is scheduled for a rearraignment today. RPD tells us 35-year-old Bradford Clark Jr. walked over that day to Akeem Wagstaff's home and shot him in the head in the driveway during an argument. We're told that was after the suspect's dog had been out running loose and attacked another dog the victim's relative was walking. Wagstaff died hours later at the hospital. Clark, at the first arraignment, pleaded not guilty to charges related to murder and weapons crimes. He's due in court again at 9:30. Final check of that Tuesday morning sunrise traffic update here before we get you to James and our weather. Traffic picking up there on the west side. We're okay of any terms of accidents, but over on the west side, there's some ongoing road work between 390 Lyle Avenue and Ridge Road. So keep that in mind. 590 is clear, going southbound to 490.
We like to hear that. Hopefully it stays that way. Our skies are at least clear for now, James.
Yeah, easy ride this morning. No issues on this Tuesday. We do see temperatures climbing pretty quickly, well into the 70s, probably 80s by lunchtime. And then the showers and thunderstorms get going as we get through this afternoon. Still not thinking we get severe storms, but enough to send you inside with a rumble of thunder here and there. Next 8 days, tomorrow, the showers probably focused in the morning on the back edge of this system, and then just isolated Thursday. And we'll see. Hopefully we can iron out the end of the week forecast and clear the skies out there, but not looking great. Saturday, you got any outdoor plans there? You might want to have a backup.
You know what? I've got a veg weekend planned.
Oh, really?
The plan is to literally veg out on the couch and do nothing. So thank you, Rain, for that.
Happy first weekend of August. That does it for us here at Sunrise. Our next update at 7:25.
Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are. On RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.